sometimes people think that to become an attorney, you have to be in the courtroom, and that maybe makes them not want to pursue becoming a lawyer. There's so many other directions you can go with being a lawyer. I think it just opens a lot of doors that people don't realize.
I consider myself a second generation American, where my parents are the first generation who immigrated here. And second generation youth have a lot of obstacles. Not only are they navigating the system as a child for their families, but also trying to figure out where they can have a place. And for me, I had great role models within my immigrant community, and I know that there are amazing role models everywhere. But I think it's really important for second generation immigrants and immigrant children to know they have such a huge potential in making impact. Because they're growing up in this culture, we know what the values are, we know what the systems are, and we can really be representative of a community that's so underrepresented, especially here in South Dakota. And as the tides are changing, the potential that our second generation youth have is just immense, and it's a matter of mentors really understanding that and taking people under their wings.
So the percentage of women as judges across the state is rising, of course, but I mean for a period of time it was all male dominated for sure. I think I'd still say it's male dominated, and that percentage of women is rising. I would be surprised if it was 25% at this point, but it might be. It's getting there. So we certainly have a handful of women who are magistrates across the state, and I'm trying to just quickly think about it, maybe at least one woman circuit court judge in every circuit, so that's a good thing. Just for example, in the 4th Circuit, I'm only the second woman to ever serve as a judge. There have only been 2.
I think my background is a little bit different than most South Dakota attorneys. I grew up in a big city and transitioned to Sioux City, Iowa, so a little bit smaller, and then eventually down to small town South Dakota in Vermilion for law school. I'm biracial, so I have a different perspective on life than I think some of the demographic makeup of South Dakota. And I think that that makeup brings into the melting pot that everyone else brings their different diverse experiences here and makes South Dakota why it's so great.
I'll tell you what I told my oldest daughter is she didn't know what she wanted to major in, and I said, don't worry about it. You go to college and you're going to come across a teacher or a subject that is just going to grab you. And when it does, follow it. There's a reason it's grabbing you, and that's the best way to figure out maybe what you want to be when you grow up. I still haven't figured that out, but
I think that it's important to let people know that just because sometimes we grow up in disadvantaged areas, and that's a lot of times the picture we see in our head for minorities, that we still are empowered to accomplish anything that we want in our lives. And it's important to attach yourself to phenomenal mentors and attach yourself to a dream and see it through. And I think the opportunities you have here in South Dakota allow that to happen with a phenomenal law school and a phenomenal state bar, with people who care about you as a person and invest in you as a person. And I would just encourage people to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams, and find someone who does the same and make it a concerted effort to get there.
Well, I think I have such a different background than an attorney in Sioux Falls, where I'm really using grassroots organizing and shifting cultures and bringing in the practice of law. So the legal incubator specifically kind of marries all of my backgrounds together, where I'm really teaching new lawyers to solo practice on how to be community lawyers and how to be entrepreneurial and how to run businesses, but also make sure that they're providing access to our most vulnerable clients.